Jai Shri Mataji, respected brothers and sisters from the global Sahaj family. Salam sejahtera dari Malaysia. Warm greetings from Malaysia. Before we proceed, we would like to welcome some new yogis who are joining us for the very first time. We hope and pray that you will continue to join us every week to strengthen our collectivity. Now let us keep both our hands in the center of our hearts and with complete reverence bow to the holy lotus feet of our Divine Mother and pray. Param Puja Shri Mataji, we, your children from across the world, humbly seek your permission, blessings, guidance, and protection to have this global online meditation. Shri Mataji, it is only by your divine grace and blessings that we are able to gather every week to worship your holy lotus feet collectively. Hence, we are grateful to you, Shri Mataji, for this wonderful opportunity. Shri Mataji, we are eternally grateful and indebted to you for our self-realization and for all the divine knowledge that you've given us. We continue to seek your blessings to help us further in our spiritual ascent. Please make us all worthy of being at your holy lotus feet, Shri Mataji. Shri Mataji, verily you're the doer, you're the enjoyer. We, your children, do nothing at all, Shri Mataji. Our only desire is to please you. And we hope we can be your humble instrument in any way possible, Shri Mataji. Koti Koti pranams at your holy lotus feet, again and again, from all your children. Today, brothers and sisters, we are indeed truly blessed to have a dear brother from San Diego, California. He's Viraj Talpade, son of Vilas and Meena Talpade. He was born in India and Maharashtra, but grew up mostly in Thailand and thereafter moved to San Diego and settled down there. He got married there with 2 children, Sharanya and Arda. He was married to Kiona, a very beautiful sister, in 2003 during the Diwali Puja in USA. So without wasting any more time, let's put our hands together and welcome our dear brother to have this session and thereafter share his experiences with Shri Mataji and also his musical journey. Our team would like to humbly seek your apologies for the technical glitch we had earlier. Again, Brother Viraj, our humble apologies to you and to all our brothers and sisters who are listening to the session today. Jai Shri Mataji. Over to you, brother.
Thank you, Didi. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Let us all begin by opening our hands towards Shri Mataji's photograph in front of us, reminding ourselves, coming from this most auspicious Shri Adi Shakti Puja that we had this past weekend, reminding ourselves who we are sitting before. As we hold our hands open, The flow of the Param Chaitanya begins from Shri Mataji's photograph to each and every one of our fingertips. And it is this flow of the Param Chaitanya that binds us together into brotherhood at the lotus feet of our Holy Mother. As Sahaja Yogis, Shri Mataji is described in a talk in 1980 in Bordi, where she said that we can't simply be observers of how the kundalini works within us, but with our chitta, with our attention, we have to be active participants, that we must absorb and emit her divine love. So this manifestation of the divine vibrations, let us take a moment to actively absorb, not just feel, but absorb on our fingertips the flow of the Param Chaitanya from Shri Mataji's picture. Now we can slowly close our eyes and place our right hand on our heart. As the vibrations fill our hearts, let us ask Shri Mataji, Mother, please remove all the obstacles in my ascent. Any negative emotions, lust, anger, greed, hate, fear, jealousy, pride, anything that keeps me away from your lotus feet, please, Mother, remove from my heart. Let the vibrations settle into my heart. Let your love settle into my heart. Now, as these vibrations flow into your heart, they touch your Sahasrara, which is the pita of the heart chakra on the very top of our head. So once again, with both our hands open towards Shri Mataji's photograph, let us observe the flow of Param Chaitanya from the source through our fingertips, filling our heart and filling our Sahasrara. As the vibrations are established within us, our Mother Kundalini responds to this divine love and begins her ascent to touch Shri Mataji's lotus feet in our Sahasrar. So now, with full understanding and complete humility, let us collectively raise our kundalinis, keeping our attention on the Param Chaitanya, and put ourselves in bandhan. Throughout our experience together this evening, let us not forget the source of this divine love that we are all experiencing. We will remain in meditation while watching an excerpt from a talk from 1991 on the subtle mechanism of the kundalini.
Gauri is the mother of Sri Ganesha. And she produced Sri Ganesha because she was having a bath, and to protect her chastity, she created Sri Ganesha. In the same way, Kundalini is the Gauri, and we have got Ganesha sitting in the Muladhara chakra. So we have Muladhara as the abode of the Gauri, of Kundalini. And the protection of the Kundalini is done by Sri Ganesha. As you know, Sri Ganesha is the deity which is for our innocence. Only Sri Ganesha could be there in that position because, as you know, the pelvic plexus looks after all the excretory functions. And it is Sri Ganesha only who can really stay there without getting dirtied by the surroundings. He's so pure, he's so innocent. While the Kundalini is the virgin mother of Sri Ganesha. People have started talking against Mary by saying that there was something wrong. How could a virgin get a child? Because we do not understand it is God. And in the area of God, anything is possible. They are above all these things. And they can create anything. And in any way, Ganesha had to be born out of a virgin because he was so pure. So Kundalini has to be supported by Sri Ganesha. If Sri Ganesha is weak, then Kundalini cannot be supported. Sri Ganesha has to support her in the awakening part, first of all. When the Kundalini is getting awakened, Sri Ganesha stops all the functions that it has to perform. All the functions are stopped. So that you must have seen I sit for 9 hours, 10 hours sometimes. I don't get up. Because all functions of Sri Ganesha, everything stops when the Kundalini is rising. She is fully supported and looked after by Sri Ganesh. Kundalini is the energy that you know, which gives you your ascent. But it's a virgin energy. It's an energy that is detached. It doesn't get attached to any center, to any function. Only one function it has to do is to slowly and steadily pass through all these centers, nourish them, give them whatever they like, whatever they want, whatever they can bear, and slowly and steadily open the Sahasrara. She's coiled up in 3.5 coils. It has a mathematical significance. Why 3.5 coils? She's, I think in my book I have described about her. But though she's a virgin energy, still she's so wise, so sensible, so loving, and so caring that when she rises, she doesn't give any complications to you. She doesn't even make you feel that she's rising. In some people she does. When the people are not normal, some obstruction is there, then you do feel. But normally, you do not even feel how she is rising. She goes up in a way automatically, supported by the whole mechanism. When she rises from one center to another center, the lower center first opens for her to enter in, and then it augments. It closes down so that it can keep the kundalini in its place. Then it goes higher, there again, till it pierces through Sahasrara. This ascending of kundalini goes on. So one has to try to meditate in such a manner that this working of the kundalini is facilitated. The chakras are cleansed out, and ultimately you are in a state of meditation. It's not a question of how to go into meditation. But it's the question how to be in meditation all the time. So as you know that kundalini, when she reaches the Agya Chakra, and when she opens Agya Chakra, then you can be in thoughtless awareness. Then you don't think. Thinking just stops. You watch everything, just watch. But you do not get involved into what you are watching, but you just watch. And that watching itself gives you the growth within. Think of the tree which is, say, in a turmoil or during earthquake. It won't grow. When the earthquake stops, everything becomes quiet, everything is peaceful, then only the tree can grow. In the same way, our growth can only take place if we are peaceful within ourselves. So for a kundalini growing wider and wider and rising higher and higher, first thing is we must have peace within ourselves. But this peace is possible if you can make really peace with others. If you cannot make peace with others who are in Sahaja Yoga, who are in the collective, if you are in a turmoil, this kundalini can never rise. That is why collectivity is so important. Without collectivity, your Vishuddhi cannot open. And without collectivity, you cannot have the growth of your spirituality. If the growth of the spirituality, as they say, the tree of life is upside down and the roots are in the brain. And this kundalini has to go and water that brain as we water the roots. Then it starts flowing downward. And that's how we start expanding. When you start expanding, then you touch the depth of your divinity. And once you have touched the depth of your divinity, then you start working it out in such a manner that people will know that you are yogis, you are people of higher realm, you have something great. It is not how many times you read something, it's not how many times you talk about Sahaja Yoga, it's not even how many times you just go on reciting names, but how many times from your heart your pure desire is to ascend. If this pure desire cuts upon you, then the first thing and the last thing you will do is to meditate. You can't do without it. Even if you try, you can't do without it. If you will sleep without meditating, you think, oh, I have not meditated. Not out of guilt, but I have missed something. I have missed something. That should happen to us. So this power of Gauri has to be respected because she is our mother. She is our individual mother. She has given us second birth. She is the one who knows all about us. She is so gentle, so kind. How she slowly rises. She doesn't give us trouble. She takes all the trouble of penetrating through these centers and she gives us this second birth. Because she understands everything. She knows everything. She organizes everything. She brings forth all the beauty that you are. Once you start developing that beauty within yourself, then you will be surprised how powerful you are. Because all these things are of the same nature. Is the truth that you discover, is the same as the beauty, is the same as the joy. You don't have to think that joy is separate, truth is different, beauty is different. Because we are not yet at that point, we just take one facet. But once we reach that point, then the whole thing seems to be one. There is no differentiation at all. It's all one. Many facets of a diamond, but it's one diamond. And that diamond is yourself, your spirit.
As described by our Holy Mother, the kundalini within each and every one of us manifests in her full power only with the support of her Sri Ganesha. Let us bow our heads down with our chin to our chest, with our Sahasrara surrendered to the lotus feet of Shri Mataji. O Divine Mother, please let your Param Chaitanya awaken the full power of our collective kundalini to ascend through our subtle being and touch your lotus feet in our Sahasrara. O Divine Mother, please let us experience the flow of the Brahma Chaitanya trickling from the Sahasrar, nourishing all our chakras. Ultimately, this divine nectar trickles down to the fourth petal of the Muladhara chakra at the base of our spine. This is the fourth petal pointing upwards, where we receive this divine love. This evening, we will place our collective attention on offering our worship to Shri Ganesha. Shri Ganesha, verily you support the ascent of our Mother Kundalini through our subtle being. Please be pleased with us. Please establish within each and every one of us the fragrance of your innocence, wisdom, and please protect our purity, our chastity. Please give us the blessings of divine wisdom and discrimination. As the flow of vibrations increases, establishes in our Muladhara chakra, let us worship our Shri Ganesha by offering Ganesha Tharva Shirsha, recited by Saranya and Adhara, with the full understanding of its meaning.
Shri Ganesha Atharva Shirsha. Namaste Ganapataye Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi Tvameva Kevalam Dhartasi Tvameva Kevalam Hartasi Tvameva Sarvam Kalvidham Brahmasi Tvam Sakshat Atmasi Nityam. Amen. Obeisance to Ganapati, the Lord of the Ganas. You are the manifest primordial principle. You alone are the doer. You alone are the supporter of the universe. You alone are the destroyer. You are verily the all-pervading Brahman, Supreme Spirit. You are the manifest eternal self, Atman. Ritam Vachmi Satyam Vachmi Avatvam Mam Avavaktaram Avashrotaram Avadhataram Avadhataram Avanuchanam Avashishyam Avapashchatat Avapurastat Avottaratat Avadakshinatat Avachordavatat Avadharatat Sarvatomam Pahi Pahi Samantat. I speak wisdom. I speak what is true. Please protect me. Protect the one who utters your name. Protect the one who hears your name. The one who gives, the one who receives, the master and the disciple. Protect me from behind, west. From the front, east. From the left, north. From the right, south. From above and from below. Please protect me from all directions. Protect me continuously. You Tvam Dvangmayastam Chinmayaha Tvam Anandamayastam Brahmanmayaha Tvam Sachitananda Dvidyosi Tvam Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvam Jnanamayo Vijnanamayosi Sarvam Jagaditam Tato Jayate Sarvam Jagaditam Tatashtishtati Sarvam Jagaditam Tvai Layameshati Sarvam Jagaditam Tvai Pratyeti Tvam Bhumirapo Nalo Nilo Nabha Tvam Chadvari Vakvardani. You are the spoken and literary word. You are consciousness. You are bliss. You are Brahman. You are absolute truth, awareness, and bliss. You are the manifest Brahman. You are the knowledge of sciences and of the highest of truth. All this universe originates from you. All of creation exists because of you. All of creation dissolves into you. All of creation returns to you. You are earth, water, fire, air, and ether, 5 elements. You are the 4 parts of speech. Tvam ganatrayatita, tvam dehatrayatita, tvam kalatrayatita, tvam muladhara stitosi nityam, tvam shakti trayatmaka, tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam. You are beyond the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. You are beyond the gross and subtle and causal bodies. You are beyond the 3 times, past, present, and future. You always reside at the Muladhara Chakra. The 3 Shakti powers are within you. Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, Mahakali. Yogis constantly meditate upon you. Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnu, Tvam Rudras, Tvam Indras, Tvam
Agnistvam Vayustvam Suryastvam Chandramastvam Brahma Bhurvaswarom Karnadim Purvam Ucharya Varnadim Tadanantaram Anusvara Parataraha Ardendu Lasitam Tardena Riddham.
You are Brahman. You are Vishnu. You are Shiva. You are Indra. You are fire. You are the wind. You are the sun. You are the moon. You are the supreme spirit that pervades the earth, heaven, and Omkara. First uttered the first letter of Gana, G, followed by the first letter of the alphabet, A, and finally the nasal sound, Ma. The letter G is crowned by the dotted half-moon symbol, as in Om, and sounded on a high note.
Etattava manusvarupam Gakara purvarupam Akaro madhyamarupam Anusvara chantyarupam Hindurutararupam Nada sandhanam Samhita sandhihi Sesha Ganesha Vidya Ganaka Rishihi Nitra Gayatri Chanda Ganapatair Devata.
This is the true form of your mantra. The sound Ga is the first form. The vowel A is the middle form. The nasal sound Ma is the last form, ending with the dot of the nasal sound on top. These combined sounds follow the grammatical rules known as sandhi. This is the knowledge of Sri Ganesha. Sage Ganaka is the author, seer. The meter is mixed. Gayatri, Ganapati is the deity.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratandaya Dhimahi Tano Danti Prachodayat.
Amen. Gam. Obeisance to Ganapati. We know the God with one tusk. We meditate upon the God with the curled up trunk. May the God with one tusk enlighten us.
Ekadantam Chaturhastam Pasham Ankushadharanam Radam Cha Varadam Haster Vibranam Mushakadvajam Raktam Lambodaram Shurpakarnakam Raktavasasam Rakta Gandhanuliptangam Rakta Pushpahi Supujitam Bhaktarnukamfinam Devam Jagat Karanam Achyutam Avir Bhutam Cha Shishyadau Prakrute Purushat Param Evam Dhyayati Yo Nityam Sa Yoginam Varaha.
You have one tusk and 4 hands, wielding a noose and elephant goad. You hold a broken tusk and give blessings. A mouse is your emblem. You are red in complexion. You have a large belly and ears like winnowing fans. You wear red clothes. Fragrant red sandalwood paste anoints your body. You are auspiciously worshipped with red flowers. You are ever compassionate to your devotees. You are imperishable organ of the world. You are You manifest before creation. You are beyond the Supreme Spirit, the Supreme Prakriti, creative energy of Shri Adi Shakti, and Purusha, primordial spirit of Shri Sadashiva. In this way, the one who constantly meditates upon you is the greatest of yogis.
Namo Vratapataye, Namo Ganapataye, Namaha Pramatapataye, Namaste Astu Lambodharaya, Ekadantaya, Vignanashine, Shivastutaya, Shri Varada Murtaye Namo Namaha.
Obeisance to the Lord of the Vrata, Shri Shiva's Ganas. Obeisance to Ganapati. Obeisance to the Lord of the Pramata, Shri Shiva's Ganas. Obeisance to the big-bellied one with one tusk, the destroyer of obstacles, the son of Shri Shiva, the embodiment of the giver of prosperity and boons. We bow to you. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha.
With the joyful fragrance of Sri Ganesha's innocence fully established in our Muladhara chakra, supporting the ascent of our mother Kundalini, let us remain in silent meditation with our attention at her divine lotus feet in our Sahasrar for a few minutes. We will listen to Shri Ganesha Bhajan while we meditate.
Jai Jai Bolo, 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 Nirmal Ganesha ki, Jai Jai Bolo, Shivanandan ki, Jai Jai Bolo, Ashta Vinayaki, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. Jai Jai Bolo, Nirmal Ganesha ki, Jai Jai Bolo, Shivanandan ki, Jai Jai Bolo, Ashta Vinayaki, Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi. Abodita dena sab sahaji ko, Nirmal Bhakti dena sabko. राधा कृष्ण जी की पुण्य भूमि पर एकता की शक्ति सबको है। जय जय बोलो निर्मल गणेश की, जय जय बोलो शिवानंदन की, जय जय बोलो अष्टविनायकी, श्री माताजी निर्मला देवी। जय जय बोलो निर्मल गीत गाकर सब सहजी झूम लो। जय जय बोलो निर्मल गणेश की, गणेश की। जय जय बोलो शिवानंदन की। जय जय बोलो अष्टविनायकी, नायकी श्री माताजी निर्मला देवी। जय जय बोलो निर्मल गणेश की, गणेश की। जय जय बोलो शिवानंदन की। जय जय बोलो अष्टविनायकी, नायकी श्री माताजी निर्मला देवी। माँ की आज्ञा सर आंखों पर ऐसी शक्ति देना हमको। रुद्र जी की पुण्य परम शक्ति से अज्ञान का नाश करो। जय जय बोलो निर्मल गणेश की, गणेश की। जय जय बोलो शिवानंदन की। जय जय बोलो अष्टविनायकी, नायकी श्री माताजी निर्मला देवी। जय जय बोलो निर्मल गणेश की, गणेश की। जय जय बोलो शिवानंदन की। जय जय बोलो अष्टविनायकी, नायकी श्री माताजी निर्मला देवी। जय जय बोलो, 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 जय जय बोलो।
From our hearts, we can all thank Shri Mataji for this joyful time together. We can all stand and prepare to offer Aarti to Shri Mataji.
Thinking about
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने लिए अवतार, माँ कितने लिए अवतार, विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा, तू गंगा यमुना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको, माँ सुख ही मिला उसको, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, लौट के ना जाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियारा, माँ कर दिया उजियारा, कलियुग में माया है, कलियुग में माया है, फिर भी पहचाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता, इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर, दुख से दूर करना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधुर संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधुर संगीत सुन लो, हो ये सके जो सेवा, हो ये सके जो सेवा, हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माताजी, जय निर्मल माताजी, दिल में साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीकलकी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्रीकलकी साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः।
बोलो श्री भगवती माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवी की जय। जय श्री माता जी। Let us all offer namaskar to Shri Mataji. Collectively raise our kundalinis and put ourselves in bandhan. with that, Maheshwari Didi, I will hand it back to you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for the blissful, lovely meditation session, Viraj. Really appreciate that. I couldn't speak much today because I got a little bit under the weather today. So maybe you can speak about your experience, right? You got your self-realization in 1989, and your mom used to be the principal at ISPS, Dharamshala. So she had also led one of our sessions last year.
Yeah.
And your children are really darling, And I'm just happy to say that Kiona used to be my roommate in Nagpur Academy.
Yeah.
Really have fond memories of her as well. So maybe you can share your experience, and then later you can play your music or whatever you want to do today.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, right? We came to Sahaja Yoga when we were very young, and very much in your neck of the woods in Thailand, which is not too far away. And it created some very unique opportunities that in terms of some very personal moments in Shri Mataji's presence. I think when my sister and I were maybe 11 years old and my sister was 6, is when we first had our first darshan of Shri Mataji as she...
Your sister's Mansi, right?
Yes. So she lives in England. She's married to an English yogi and lives in the middle of England. But we had some very special times when Shri Mataji would be traveling, I believe, from Southeast Asia on her way to Europe. And she'd stop in Malaysia and then stop in Thailand. And there were very few yogis there, just a couple, my dad and Auntie Janine and Uncle Pascal and their family. And then the yogis from France and Australia would come, travel with Shri Mataji, and some of them would come ahead of time and help set up the public programs and do the postering and all of that. But one incident I remember was in the midst of all this, Shri Mataji always had this Mahamaya kind of manifestation, where she seemed just like a normal grandmother and just like, any other person. And during one of our shopping trips, because Shri Mataji would buy a lot of presents for everyone, she decided that she wanted to have lunch. And I think my parents were in the hotel room preparing for her, her room and taking care of things there. So there were just a couple of people, Shri Mataji, and for some reason, my sister and I were there as well, young kids with her. And I think they wanted to, go to a really nice place to eat some lunch and make sure Shri Mataji was comfortable. But Shri Mataji saw McDonald's and she said, let's go to McDonald's and let's go and get some burgers and a Coca-Cola. And this has always been a memory of mine. Shri Mataji really liked Coca-Cola, or maybe it was just her way of protecting us from the poisons of soft drinks. I don't know, but so there we were sitting in McDonald's, the most casual dining experience with Shri Mataji, and I'm pretty sure I didn't understand the significance of it. Back then, as a young kid, how special that moment was, having lunch with Shri Mataji. Another food related, just while we're on that topic, story I'd like to share is closer to the present moment. When Shri Mataji spent some time in Los Angeles, Kyo and I were newly married. This was back in 2003. We were married in Diwali Puja in LA. And we were invited to Shri Mataji's house as a newly married couple to where Kiona was preparing the breakfast every morning for Shri Mataji, and I had the opportunity to bring the tray up to her room and serve Shri Mataji and serve the family who was sitting with her, and every morning. So one of the things we would do early in the morning, wake up at the LA ashram and then pick a rose, because there were very fragrant roses at the ashram, and we'd pick one rose every day and make sure that that rose went up with us to Shri Mataji on the breakfast tray, and I would offer the flower to Shri Mataji every morning and bow down to her, and she always made it a point to smell the fragrance of the flower, and then she would say, "From the LA ashram, from the LA ashram," and I said, "Yes, Shri Mataji," and I think really her attention is very strongly on the collective in Los Angeles, in Southern California during those times. But just the food related anecdote, which I thought was really funny and kind of challenges some of our conditionings as yogis. Some of us may remember, Shri Mataji in the early times saying, you shouldn't eat mushrooms because they're fungus and, not ideal for yogis to be consuming mushrooms. And I suspect that in our exuberance to follow Shri Mataji's word, we may have taken it a bit too far and just absolutely not eaten mushrooms at all. And I think Shri Mataji was playing a little trick on us. So during that one particular set of 2 or 3 months in 2003, 2004 that Shri Mataji was there, she would pointedly request mushroom soup to be made every day for lunch without fail. and I remember some of the Australian yogis telling us the story that Shri Mataji had said not to eat mushrooms, but in her Mahamaya form, in her gentlest way of telling us, don't be rigid, don't be ritualistic about how you treat your Sahaj journey. She requested mushroom soup every afternoon. So I found that very amusing when I learned the sort of the backstory behind it. So yeah, it's been such a long journey. We feel like so many years. We're still growing. We're still growing. We still learn so many new things every day, and when especially sessions like these, my heartfelt thanks to the Malaysian collective and to you, Maheshwari Didi, for organizing this, because through these stories we're getting a chance to experience Shri Mataji like we never have, and I'm so thankful for that.
It's all divine's plan, Shri Mataji is the doer, so we just be the instrument. I think it is just a collective desire that it has come through, that everybody sharing their joy with Shri Mataji. And for those people who have not experienced seeing Shri Mataji, I used to tell them, not to worry, because Shri Mataji is within us. Just have to speak to her and she will just guide you. Like what you used to say, what you said about mushroom soup, I also used to have that, used to be skeptical taking mushroom soup and all that, So sometimes when you hear Shri Mataji's talk, she says this, and the next thing, she just, like what you say, it's a Mahamaya. So it's up to us to use our discretion when to use it, or feel it.
And that's something I remember very, very clearly. Shri Mataji was never very hard and fast about anything that she said, any guidance that she gave. I remember my parents asking some advice about their career and living in Thailand and moving back to India and putting us in Dharamshala. And a lot of the times she said, okay, if that's what you want, do it. Don't question yourself, and don't worry, I'm there with you, whatever you decide. So I know we get I don't know about everyone, but I know us, when we sit down, we get really hung up on, oh, let's check the vibrations. Let's make sure we feel the vibrations. And how do we make such a difficult decision, especially for those tough decisions in our life? And then I'm just remembering now while talking to you that early on, Shri Mataji said, do it. If you feel that if you want to do something, do it, and I'm there with you. And that's something I will never forget.
Yeah. Very true, very true.
Yeah.
I just missed your wedding, I was there in 2002. So just missed the wedding.
Yeah. It was a special experience, obviously, for
That
me
was the
and
first
my
wedding
wife.
in Diwali, isn't it? I mean, that was the first wedding in LA Ashram.
Yes, there was the first wedding on the West Coast of America. Normally, I think Shri Mataji had weddings, maybe, and don't quote me on, I may not be remembering correctly, but I think she had weddings in Kanajohari, but it's been a while. But yeah, this was the first time she had them in Los Angeles, and there were maybe 13 of us couples at the ashram, and very intimate setting with about 800 yogis in attendance as well. So special
I was
times.
there for the Navaratri and Diwali Puja, in 2002 at Lake Piru.
Lake Piru, yeah.
We traveled in vans and all. Such a beautiful memory,
Yes.
Can't forget that trip. It was
Absolutely.
really lovely. Yeah. So, brother, you also play the keyboard, right? For you have played for Shri Mataji in Thailand, and your
Yes.
entire family. I'm just really, really appalled by your children's, understanding of the divine knowledge at the very tender age.
Yeah,
and
this
some,
is
Kiona
all.
They are always very surrendered and all that. So it's really beautiful. Adara,
thank you.
Yeah, and Charanya.
All credit to Kiona for that.
Yeah, I know she's a good mother. She's a good mother, and even her mother, Sister Vani. So she is also a very good singer. I think the entire family.
Oh, they're absolutely musical, absolutely wonderful. And I remember Uncle Dave Dunphy when he announced our match in Los Angeles for the first time. He said, "Musical couple made in heaven." So, and he invited us up to, how they invite you to the stage and you do the namaskar and you kind of see each other for the first time. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And I think that's really been the foundation of how we find joy in our family together. We make music together. I play some instruments, and we're making sure we teach the kids the joy of music and expressing themselves through song.
It's very good to continue the legacy. So nice to hear. Kiona sing. She had lovely voice. I used to ask her to sing every day in Nagpur. And being her roommate, we had so much of joy, with Guruji coming to teach us, and really beautiful memories back then. And still,
with Baba Mama, at the academy, right? Yeah.
Yes, beautiful memories those days.
Yeah,
still goes on. Still we can still remember every bit of it.
Yeah. In fact, she will read to the kids from the My Memoirs book that that Baba Mama wrote. So I highly recommend that book to everyone.
Before even he wrote that, he used to tell us stories every day at the academy there. So when we got that book, it was so amazing. But unfortunately, he couldn't get it edited before. He passed on just before that. So, would you like to play some music, brother?
I don't know that I will do anything live, but if it's okay with you, we have during the pandemic, for one of the New Year seminars, they asked for online submissions, and my family and I, in fact, it's kind of appropriate. We were meditating on the Kundalini, on the ascent of the Kundalini this morning or this evening for you guys. But we recorded this song from the bhajan book called Kundalini Rise, and we submitted that as our little offering for the New Year seminar. So if we have 5 or 6 minutes more, we can conclude with that song.
Sure.
Okay, I'll share the video and can enjoy the song together.
Such a lovely, lovely performance by all of you. So very soothing, you know. Lovely. Thank you so much for this gift.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
And-
for
and,
letting us share this. It
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
lot
it
of
was-
fun. It was a lot of fun to make it.
Yeah, it looked very fun also, you know. The
Yeah.
children are enjoying, and so was Kiona and you and everybody, you know. So very
Yeah.
talented. We pray to Shri Mataji give you more talent and to ascend in your spirituality like all of us. We also pray for the same, all of us to ascend, and let's pray for peace and harmony in the world. And today being the International Yoga Day, the 8th International Yoga Day, we had a nice celebration as well in Malaysia, as well as I think around the world. So thank you again, everyone. Happy Yoga Day to all. And thank you for stepping in, brother, because today our IT team, everyone was busy with their traveling, and you know, some have gone on holidays. And Vivek was actually traveling, so he couldn't help us much until the end. And luckily, you know, Wendy came in, and you took over after that. Thank you for that. And apologies to all our brothers for the slight delay and the lack of music in the beginning. It's all divine play. Thank you again, Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
send my love to all at home.
Jai Shri Mataji, thank you so much.
Yeah. Brother Neville, you have something to say?
No, I said, don't worry. Don't worry about any delays. We enjoyed it.
Yes, that's most important, you know, the feeling of joy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.
Love to all, Viraj. Jai Shri Mataji.
Yes, thank you. Jai Shri Mataji.